John Cobb found out on a Tuesday morning, standing in a hallway, while a kid half his age checked his phone and told him the building no longer needed him. It happened in a hallway, not a private office, a hallway where nurses walked past and slowed down and pretended not to listen. Derek did not lower his voice. He told John the hospital had a new system, Smart Grid, $2.3 million, fully automated. It controlled everything: oxygen, heat, power, pressure, all of it. It did not need John. Derek said something about John being a solid contributor. He said it while checking his phone. He did not shake his hand. John stood there for a moment. Then he asked one question. He asked Derek if he had ever been in the basement, not on a tour, in the basement, at 3 in the morning, when something breaks. Derek said he had done the walkthrough. John said okay. Then he walked away. Same pace he always walked, slow, steady, the walk of a man who has never once left a job unfinished. The drive home was 22 minutes. The truck was a 2003 F-150, 214,000 miles. The passenger seat had a crack in the vinyl that Linda had patched with electrical tape years ago. The tape was peeling at one corner. The pine tree air freshener on the mirror had stopped smelling like pine a long time ago. It was still there. He parked and sat. Inside, Linda was at the kitchen table with her coffee mug, the one that said "World's Okayest Fisherman." He had given it to her as a joke. She used it every single morning. She looked at his face. She did not ask. On the counter there was a mason jar, clear glass, folded bills inside, mostly fives. He opened it and counted. $63. That was the vacation fund. That was also the retirement fund. That was also every plan they had made for what comes after. He told Linda they gave him 30 days. She got up and went to the stove and asked if he wanted soup. He said soup was fine. That is how they talked about the hard things. They did not talk about them. 22 days later, 2 in the morning. The ransomware hit Millhaven Memorial like a hammer through glass. Every screen in the building went black. The electronic oxygen locks in the ICU sealed shut. 12 patients on oxygen, monitors dark, alarms going. Derek Shaw was on the 3rd floor. He called IT. IT said they were working on it. He called the vendor. Voicemail. He called corporate. He stood in the hallway and kept making calls. John was already in the basement. He moved through the dark without a flashlight. He did not need one. He had walked every inch of that basement for 30 years. He knew where every pipe bent, every valve sat, every bypass ran. In the far northeast corner of Sub-Basement 2, behind a gray steel door that the $2.3 million installation crew had never once opened, there was an analog bypass panel. Installed in 1988, cast iron valves, cold to the touch. John had kept it live, quietly, on his own time. He had tested every valve twice a year because he believed that if the new system ever failed, somebody needed to know where the gray door was. He opened it now. He turned the first valve counterclockwise, 4 full rotations, counted them out loud in the dark, then the next, then the next. His hands bled a little from the corroded iron. He did not stop. 12 valves, 12 patients. On the 3rd floor, the oxygen gauges climbed back into the green, one by one. Dr. Patricia O'Coffer had been manually squeezing a ventilation bag for 4 minutes when her gauge came back up. She looked at the ceiling. She had worked alongside John Cobb for 22 years. She already knew exactly who was in the basement. She dried her hands and went to find a phone. 6 in the morning, conference room. 8 board members around a long table. Derek Shaw stood at the head of it with a presentation ready. He talked about crisis response, coordination,
protocols. He used the word robust 4 times in 2 minutes. Dr. O'Coffer walked in and sat down without looking at him. Then the door opened again. John was standing in the doorway. Gray work shirt, grease on both hands, a black smear across his forearm. He was holding his notebook, the spiral notebook with the cover worn soft as cloth. He set it open on the table and spoke, not loud. He told them every bypass valve in sub-basement 2 was in that notebook. Every manual override for every critical system in the building, updated every January since 1994. The smart grid had none of those pathways in its database, not one. He had checked the installation manual the week the crew arrived. He had asked the foreman. The foreman told him the old system was obsolete. John had kept it live anyway. Last night, he said, that decision saved 12 lives. Then he stopped talking. The board member at the far end of the table reached for the notebook. She turned the pages slowly. 30 years of careful updates. 30 years of one man making sure the building stayed safe, whether anyone was watching or not. Derek's slide was still on the screen behind him. Smart grid, transforming care through innovation. Nobody was looking at it. Parking lot, cold morning, sun low and flat. John was walking to the truck when Derek came out fast behind him. Derek talked about miscommunication, about timelines, about how John's value had never truly been in question. He talked quickly, the way a man talks when the words are only for himself. John opened the truck door, set his wrench on the passenger seat on top of Linda's electrical tape. He got in and drove away. Derek was still talking in the parking lot behind him. The truck did not slow down. John Cobb kept his job. The board voted unanimously that evening. His notebook is now official documentation in the hospital's emergency protocol binder. It sits behind glass in the administrator's office, visible from the hallway. He still drives the same truck. The tape on the seat is still peeling. He has not fixed it. He kind of likes it there now. Here is what I want you to think about. Somewhere in your world there is a John, someone with 30 years of quiet, essential knowledge that nobody is asking about anymore. Someone being replaced by something shinier. Someone keeping the building standing while other people prepare presentations about it. Experience does not come with a slideshow. It comes with grease on its hands and a worn-out notebook and the habit of showing up 2 hours early. Youth gets the meeting. Experience gets the basement until the night the lights go out. So tell me this. Who is the person in your life being told their experience is obsolete? The one doing the essential work while someone else takes the credit. Drop their name anonymously in the comments. It is time they got seen.